Okay guys, I know that it has been a while and I apologize, I really do, but I've been busy. I've had a lot going on and that meant that I kind of ignored this space right here. And also truthfully, I needed the break. Like I really needed the break, but now I'm back. I'm gonna make a video properly going through just some of the things that I've been working on, but for now, I wanted to share something with you guys that I've been sitting on for a minute and it's been really important to me and I want to finally put it out. But you guys know that I am obsessed with Black actresses. I always support them as much as possible. And so last year I had the chance to sit with a few of my girlfriends who are hustling, amazing, just creative, going after their goals. And we got the chance to discuss all things to do with the beauty and the business of being a Black actress. And so I wanted to share with you guys that conversation. So here we go. You guys are my favorite actors faces that I like to see hustling.
Hello. Hi everyone.
Hustle actress group. That's why I'm like,
hustle is a really cute word for like running around with your, like a chick with your head cut off.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm hustling.
I'm so excited, mainly because I wanted to chat about just the hair and makeup life of Black actresses, because I think I see a lot of stories on it and they can be really Debbie Downer, and mind you, it is. But I also think I'm like, there's just it's such a deep world that so many people don't realize how prepared you have to be as a Black actress on set, that like the unspoken parts of it. Like Nikiva, you sent me that article, I keep telling people about it, where it said that Queen Latifah was doing her own hair on an Living single.
Oh, that makes sense.
In the 90s.
Because what's her name? Regina wore wigs, Kim Cole had braids, Maxine had locks. She was really one of the only ones who had her hair pressed.
So that's what I'm like, a show with only Black women, and you're the one that's like, oh,
You're doing.
I have to show
up.
And it looked good too. So cheers to Queen. Like it was late.
The Monique Coleman is what really made me think of it, because Monique Coleman was saying on High School Musical she had to wear a headband because they didn't know how to do her edges.
Yep.
And I was like, that's such a sucky story, and so many people have that experience. But I know like the opposite, because when I was on Degrassi, Hazel always had to wear a headband, but it was just because I showed up to set with my hair straight. And it's almost the opposite happens where they're lazy. Now they're like, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, you
love this.
Even makeup. Yeah, you're great. Go ahead. I'm like, we're not gonna tell you that
anything ever again. Like, and so I'm like, there's two ways that you have to be a Black actress on set. You either show up the way you genuinely hope they're gonna put you onto camera.
Yep.
You're like, if there's absolutely nothing here, like they don't have a stitch of any, like anything for hair, anything for skin, I know I'm at least, I can tolerate this look. Or you're prepared for them to literally ruin your head top. And so you're like, okay, I'm going to have to bring own stuff.
And you got your set bag.
Yes. I've been trained to show up to every single set with a potential hairstyle, to just be like,
oh yeah. That's unfortunate, but you have to.
All my white actress friends showed up to set with their hair wet.
Yep.
Sorry, I didn't roll my eyes. Yes.
Or when they tell you to show up to set with your hair wet, they say just bring it clean, just shower. I'm like, okay, I want to see what I'm look like when I get out the shower.
Yeah.
Right.
That's not what you expect, sis.
Yeah. Or they're like, just come blow dry, and I'm like, you have no
What
idea.
does that even mean?
No. Let me show you these headshots. You tell me what look you want, and we're gonna go from there.
Yeah. Or who has a bunch of shots. So, we audition with different hair, different whatever. And then the day before is like, these are the looks. Which one do you want?
How do you want me to come on?
This is which one do you need? Or I was playing a police officer, and I think I had auditioned with my hair out. And I'm like, they're like, yeah, just come out. And I was like, this is what I had. This is my headshot. I'm going to assume you want something like this. Please, yes. Nice, a low bun. I was like, thanks. Don't worry.
You got to do the thinking for them. I didn't know that at first. And that's where my hair heartbreak started. Like my first big gig, I just had my hair pressed at the time. Like I've had natural perm, it's gone back and forth and mostly in between stages. But it was kind of an in between, but I straightened it myself because they told me come blow dried. I didn't know better. And it was a period piece. And so when I came to do my period test hair, it was like, I had just straightened it that day. So it was cool, it was fine. I showed up literally like maybe 2 or 3 days later and our hair texture changes. And she came at my hair with a rat tooth tail comb, I think that's what it's called, and tried to like fight her way through my hair. And not only did it hurt, then she was like, oh, you didn't brush your hair this morning. And I was like, mind you, I'm new, I'm young. I have to go do a scene. It's just one scene, but it was really important to me. And I felt like, I don't know if I can curse. I felt like crap the whole day. You know what I mean? Like it ruined my self-esteem. And ever since then, I come with 2 or 3 wigs ready. Like I do not play. Even when they get offended by it. I had one hairstylist who was like, I know how to do black hair. I was like, cool. So you want to do curly black hair? Straight black hair?
Because you're doing one of these wigs.
Right. You're not touching mine. So you pick.
Which one you want? Let me check this one out. Real cute.
It's a bob. She's longer.
No.
Never again.
Now I look at the call sheet and I'm like, Google her. And then I'm like looking at to see if she's done or has any black people in her portfolio. And recently I got a call and she said, I love your hair type. Your hair type is my favorite to work with. You never met me. So I said, oh, so when did you see, was it the tape or my headshot? And she's like, yeah, I saw your tape. I said, oh, okay, that was a wig. and she's like, yeah. And I'm like, great. So you'll get a wig because that's what we're gonna do. Because you don't know this hair type.
Because the other thing is too, I've also experienced the white stylist who generally now knows black hair, right?
Sure.
They have like 4 different products. One of them is blue magic, and you're like, why do you do that?
No. Where'd you even get that though?
Pull out the tub.
Yes, you're like, where are these from?
Eco styler.
Like, and they're like, I'm good. Trust me, we're good.
No, please
we're
don't.
Good.
Please don't.
We're good. And it just keeps getting worse and worse. And you're like, well, I could have told you. I don't know where you found these.
They're like shaking it and it's dried out.
No, it's cool.
Or just the concept of like water on black hair. You're like, if I show up with my hair dry, don't add no water to it for the rest of the day.
Don't do that.
The tension that you feel though, like the tension that you start to feel the second you sit down, because you know it's going to go completely left.
Oh yeah.
And then some of them will make it seem like you're the issue or your hair was so this, that, and the other. And like you said, it affects the rest of your day.
Oh, easily.
You know, and like you're trying to perform, but you know you look like Frederick Douglass. Like you know it's right. And like as soon as you sit down, you're like, wait, no water based this, no this, but and they're like getting tense with you. Like one lady kept telling me, like, yeah, because your hair is like what, B3. It's like C3. I said, if she say C4, we blowing up. What's going on? It's not even B nothing. It's 3B. Like, but she kept saying it.
What no one wants to talk about though is I've had really bad black hair stylists. The first person who came at me with a spray bottle of water after I came in with my hair already laid was a black woman. Yeah. And I was like, she was like, what are you doing? And I was like, no, because I like flat twisted my hair. I was like, you can't do that because it's gonna mess up the curl pattern. And she was like, oh no, I think your hair is like mine. And I was like, it's not. It was so disappointing. Like I was crushed because you get that feeling, like you said, you walk into work and I saw her and I was like, all right, not gonna stress about this today. And immediately she went for the bottle and I was like, oh no.
Or if I've had experiences where you go in and you're like, oh, I'm good because they're gonna leave your hair. But then the next scene now, for some reason, they're like, let's get creative. And the hairstyle doesn't make any sense. I'm like, do you mind if I French roll the back, but leave a couple pieces out? And you're like,
exactly, do what you will.
Do what you want.
French roll the back.
You obviously don't like me or my character. Do whatever you feel.
I don't know about y'all, but it really has forced me to release. Like I genuinely think about it as much as I still go back to my trailer and fix it as much as I can. I'm like, you know what? This is the character. And when I get the opportunity where I'm top whatever on the call sheet and I can bring my own people, they will know, oh, Joy made it because her hair looks good.
Yeah,
Right.
Prior to that, anything I've done up until this, it has been Joy's shop of hair, and you just gonna have to deal with it.
You know, one of my tricks, which I've tried to do after my hair was ruined on set, where I'm talking like 2 years of heat damage.
Oh, yeah.
So after my hair was ruined, what I started doing was like, once I'll go on set and realize like, oh, she has no idea what she's doing. When I go to those table reads, I go laid, like my hair is laid, my makeup is laid. I'm like, y'all gonna know I can look better than what I look in the next episode.
No,
so I go, and every time I leave, by the time I get in my car and I'm on the freeway, the call is like, so how did you today? Because they kind of want you to, and now, so whenever you see my hair curly in a few episodes, and all of a sudden she went straight, it's because I went to a table read.
For you.
Straight, and they were like, hold up. But what sucks is now I'm paying, I get them to reimburse me, but I pay my girl to do my hair before I go to set.
Yeah.
It's just, it's
inconvenient.
It's inconvenient. I think, I don't know anybody else that has to experience that or even has to play that game. Because I've done that where you are like, they don't know I'm pretty. I have to show up.
They have no idea.
Yep.
They have no idea. I have to, there has to be something at some point where these people see that I'm actually attractive because you guys are fooling me. So
Instagram.
Like any but other group even experience that. And that's the trick, right? Where you're like, yeah, okay, I'm not gonna get the opportunity here, so I'm gonna have to do it elsewhere to fool you guys into knowing that I should be able to control how I look at this point.
I can look better than this.
I can look better. I can look better than this. We're talking about hair, but I think it also happens even in the makeup. It's like, because I remember like the earliest memory I had is honestly when I was like 12 or 13. And I remember seeing a makeup artist pull out every brown she possibly had. Just every single one. And like mixing and dabbing and mixing and looking at you. And it was just like, all right, well, let's see.
Trying every matte color that's not in the right. It's not in the right.
Just ask me.
I got it. And I'm like,
that's the thing. Just ask me. Just say, hey, which one of these would you go for? Because I'd be able to at least guide you.
Yeah. I literally go to the trailer with a bag and I'm like, I have a whole spiel that I say as soon as I sit down, like, hey, I know my under eyes are really a problem, so I bring my things just in case. And then I sit down and watch them fuck up my eyes for 20 minutes. And then they start to say, so what did you have in your bag?
Yeah, what was that?
And they attempt to fix it, and then I never get dressed. I never dress, like even if they tell me dress before I go to makeup, I never do it because I gotta go back to my trailer. I know I gotta fix something. So I never dress. So I let them fuck it up, and then I go back to my trailer and say, shit.
That's so annoying. That's so annoying. The first film I ever did, they tried that. We were shooting in Mississippi. I think it was Biloxi, something like that. And they didn't have anything for me. And they gave me $50 and told me to go to CVS and buy my own makeup. And she was like, and I can put it on when you get back. And I was like, I'm good. Again, scarring in the middle of Mississippi. I was like,
oh my gosh.
So I mainly wore like mascara that whole time because CVS didn't have my color either.
Yeah, what? What?
Mascara. It was awful.
Oh man.
But that's what I was saying. And then you're supposed to also now perform. Like somehow you're supposed to be like, okay.
And listen, most of my roles are always opposite some heartthrob. And here I am in a scene like this.
Like this is not what
Now I gotta show up again.
Always like the lead of the show, so you know the scene is lit for him already. So I'm like trying to find my light, but then I don't want to be in the light because I know this side is a mess. It's a disaster.
See me at the table read. I'm telling you.
See me at the table read.
Wait till this table read. Wait, I can't wait.
I have a few white actress friends that will say like, oh, I'm allergic to certain mascaras. So they just bring their bags.
Oh.
Period.
The line.
a
they're
lot.
not even going to allow you. They're like, nope, I'm allergic. I'm allergic to that. I'm allergic to this. I'm allergic to this.
I'm kind of allergic to you, but we'll see.
We'll figure it out.
Things
If you don't mind. And I'm like, that's what I should be doing, because I
yeah.
think my brain is in too many, like, I don't want to be problematic. In that makeup room is where I always feel like the problems begin.
Doing a fashion week event, and that was the worst. And I had faith on that day for whatever reason. I had faith on that day, and I went in and I left truly looking like a panda. They wanted to do a smoky eye on me, don't know why. And you know, when you're just sitting there and you can feel it happening, you're like, oh, that's getting high. That? Oh, wow.
There.
Wow, okay. I mean, maybe they probably have is that the pink that they're, okay. And it's still to this day, it's absolutely horrifying, because I had to truly, it wasn't like a touch up, it was a horror trying completely. But it just made me realize, and when I did the event again, they're like, oh, well, we're gonna hire someone just for you. And I was like, you know what? You blew it already. I'm gonna get I will show up, because I ended up having to do it again. And the thing that annoys me is that everyone else gets to show up to set and not bring those things and not worry about buying foundation, buying their mascara, buying this, buying that, that's coming out of our pockets.
Yeah.
The makeup budget for the film, for the show, for whatever takes care of that. But we have to then make sure that we have it. I mean,
because as soon as you book, your mind is going. As soon as you book it, you're already problem solving in your mind how you're going to fix, or what was my hair like in that audition, or, you know, how did I show up at the callback?
Do you think about your hair and your makeup to this extent for your auditions as well?
Not to this extent. I think about it, but I usually think of it in terms of what the rest of my schedule looks like. You know what I mean? Like, all right, I know I can get away with this hair for the next 2 tapes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's more so along with my schedule, not necessarily to look a certain way. You know what I mean? Like,
got it. Yeah, you know, I always think I had this like true Black actress moment at an audition once where every girl there was natural, essentially. Like every person was like, every curl type was there. Everyone was either like a big afro or curly hair out, or braids or faux locks. And all of us like started to talk about it because everybody was so everybody was like, do you remember when we couldn't be here like this? It was like this powwow moment. And I just kept thinking about it. So I was like, yeah, like the hair and makeup process starts early for us because there's the like acceptability politics that we have to kind of go through, or thinking about our real lives, our real schedules. And I know sometimes for me, it can be stressful.
I love my curly hair. I've had curly headshots for years, and I've only really just started doing a lot more film and television, especially with all these self-tapes. I cannot keep doing my curly hair because it only really lasts me 3 days. So I was like, I guess I'm going to straighten my hair, not because I necessarily like it better, but because I don't have to do it every 3 days. It just is so much easier for something where I'm constantly doing tape, something I had to accept that I was like, okay, this is just going to be the look for my own sanity.
And I hope that we as Black women, I know in our hearts we do understand and accept that, but there is still so much judgment. Like, again, I've had to start looking at my hair as an accessory because, I mean, I've had my head of hair my entire life, you know, and when I tried to permanent it, break out. And when I tried to do natural styles, it took too long because it's too thick. It's beautiful, but I don't want to do it every single day. And it's not convenient, you know? Again, that's why I started making my own wigs. But it did, like, I was conflicted with myself. Nobody else really cared. Or if they did, they didn't say anything. But I was sitting here like, oh man, I'm not Black enough if I don't go to this audition with an afro, or I'm not going to be sexy enough if I don't have such and such. And then I'm like, if you pick your clothes like costume, then I'm just going to pick my hair like a costume. And I'm going to try to be okay with that. And that has freed me Like I have so many half wigs of different styles,
Yeah.
head wigs. You know me, Andrea.
No, I
got
know. I was gonna say you and Nikiva are like, you guys are wig queens. You guys know how to do it.
That's the save. Like the
Yeah.
wigs. I think I bought my first wig in the 8th grade. Like I've always
Ooh, good for you.
worn 8th grade. It was blue, but no, we won't talk about that. But
wait, can we though? But okay, go ahead.
we won't talk about we all make mistakes. But but I've literally, like, for me, wigs allow me to go back and forth with commercials too, because commercials is something that I will not stop doing. You know what I mean? So when that commercial audition comes in, I know I need to look like that headshot more so than for theatricals things. You know what I mean? So that is just that give and take for me. And then my hair, it goes through different seasons where it's like, it doesn't want to do anything right now. And part of the thing is, like, there are sometimes I've been on set where it's not that the artist is incapable, but the artist doesn't have enough time. You cannot do my hair in 20 minutes. So if you're allotting 20 minutes, we're going to have a huge issue. So, you know what I mean? It's just understanding that there's a commitment of time. And the one thing you can't give me is time. So how can I make this work?
Right.
I can't wait until I just can sit comfortably knowing that my hair and makeup is going to turn out great. And I'm not schlepping my bag to set or trying to figure out what excuse I can come up with to get back to this trailer to fix it. Like that will be a day. That might be my Oscar performance, y'all, because I need to be able to just, and I've never been able to. Do you see the calm?
Right. She's just so peaceful. Something about her.
There was something just.
You see that reacting I was doing? I was present.
So
Right. I'm desperately waiting for a role where I can shave my head. Because I feel like I've done everything else. Well, I want to lock up as well, but like I want my V for Vendetta. Like I want it in the scene. You know what I mean? We just start over. Yeah. But like they pay me for it.
I think that I'm more aware in terms of the kinds of roles that have certain hair. And especially since right now for me, as I start to do this straight hair thing, I'm very aware of who those characters are. I'm like, okay, so I look like this now because my hair is, that means I'm probably so I would probably end up being this girl, even though I could be her, but because of my look. And, you know, I think it goes with so many things, being slender, being dark skinned, then having straight hair, it kind of puts you somewhere. So I'm that.
Because the thing is you then translate differently, right? Like, as much as you could be like, no, I know I can play this thing. People will just all of a sudden it ages you up, it ages you down. I had a screen test once, and this was one of my only experiences like this, where they really did make my hair curly and straight in the time being. Like they literally were like, well, we're gonna do both, and did them side by side. And it was the longest analysis of them being like, well, it's a slightly it's a tiny bit older over here. Let's make it over here, please. And that it was my first time experiencing that, because when they said it, I was obviously scared. I was like, oh, what do you want to do for the day? You want us to go curly and then straight?
I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, I would have been in tears. I would have totally been amazing.
I was like, think about
I love you guys. I got a self-tape, so I got.
All right, yay, go kill it.
Go on. Go.
Thank you guys so much. Proud of y'all.
This is wonderful.
My next video, I promise, will be all about what I've been doing. But for now, bye.